What's going on, everybody? It's Jay Coffee Talk back again with another video for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to like. Make sure to get in the comments. I always want to hear what you guys got to say. But check it out. This video, if you're the kind of person that, if you see something or hear something that like freaks you out and you're like, I wish I didn't hear that or see that, because later you're thinking about it or whatever, back out of this video. Just want to give a warning, because this definitely freaked me out, creeped me out. This is some disturbing stuff. Now, I'm going to get right into this. What's going on is, in China, reports have just come out that a 43-year-old man, I'm going to give it my American guess pronunciation of his name. Obviously, he's Chinese. I don't speak the language, but it's Zhu Zanfa, first name Zhu, last name Zhonfa. As I said, that's Jay Coffee Talks American guess at this guy's name. But anyways, what's going on is this guy was not feeling too well. You know what I mean? He was having constant headaches, migraines, and I don't know if you guys have ever suffered from migraines. It's no fun. I've, had them before, but I could only imagine this was going on for weeks of this. Also, seizures, losing consciousness, just passing out. And, he had multiple trips to his doctor, and his doctor could not figure it out, so he referred him to this specialist at one of the top hospitals out there, where he was. And after doing an examination and everything, the doctor ordered up an MRI. Okay, now the results of the MRI came back, and you will see them up on the screen. And his brain was loaded with these parasitic worms. Okay, now he had him in other places too, not just his brain. He had him in his chest, like his lungs, the muscles in his chest, all over the place. They're saying there was up to 700 of these worms in this man's body. Now, like I said, this really creeped me out. You know what I mean? But this, wanted to share it though, because honestly, I'm going to continue with this, but it just all boils down to being sanitary, you know what I mean, and food safety, you know what I mean. There's awareness to this, to put this out there to everyone, because what they're saying this came from was undercooked pork. Now, I've actually heard of this before in one of those like documentary shows or something like that. I believe it was called like My Little Monsters or something like that. You know what I mean? It was about parasites, and this happens not often, but enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's happened. This isn't something that's never happened before. You know what I mean? It's normally in like third world countries, or places where, because of them being poor, their conditions not just too good, that this happens from time to time, and people actually die from this. You know what I mean? They're saying this actually caused this man brain damage. These parasites can actually damage your brain. You'll see a picture on the screen also of like a brain from an autopsy of someone who had this condition and passed away, and you can see the like sacs. This woman in the documentary that I was talking about, she was able, she lived, but they pulled sacks of these worms out of her brain, and it's really scary to think about, and they traced it to undercooked pork. And I gotta say, I'm no vegan or vegetarian or anything like that, but I lately have been trying to like eat better and everything like that, as I grow older. And I gotta tell you, I really don't eat much pork, and there's other parasites and health risks that come with pork, you know what I mean? But this case though is one of the worser ones that they have saw with this man. Now, as I was talking about like sacks of these worms, like basically what happens is typically they stay in the intestine, you know what I mean? Because this happens with pigs a lot. The pigs are infected. You'll see a diagram on the screen kind of breaking it down or whatever, but the pigs are infected, and if the meat is undercooked, you know, obviously we can ingest these parasites into our body. And, you know, as I said, normally they stay in the intestine because there's a lot for them to feed off there. But if, you know, the person isn't treated, they multiply a lot and grow, they start, you know, becoming a lot of them, they move to other parts of the body. Now, what happens as well is when they start, you know, laying eggs and everything, like larvae, a cyst like develops around them within the body, you know, whether it be in the brain or the lungs or wherever, and the larva, the eggs are inside of this cyst. And then after they hatch and move on, the cyst stays there, like broken, but stays there and actually begins to decay, which can cause like really bad infections wherever it is in the body. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff is no joke. Now, I know I'm probably freaking you guys out, but as I said, this is normally something that is in countries, poorer countries, you know what I mean? In the United States, it's like almost extinct. There is cases of it here because, you know, people travel outside of the country and get this sometimes, but, you know, it has been treated in this country. Now, as I was saying, though, this all just kind of comes down to being sanitary and food safety. Now, I just want to point this out. You know, there's all kinds of other different germs, parasites, and things like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't like to think about this kind of stuff, but I just got to point out, you know, I hate when I see people just not wash their hands. I'm sure you guys have seen people like that who just don't wash their hands, and you're like, come on, man, like, what are you doing? You know, it's just nasty. So, you know, and this goes beyond parasites. I'm sure you guys have seen that movie Contagion, which actually had something to do with pigs as well. You know, the swine is just, seriously, man, like, I get why a lot of people do not dig on the swine and do not eat pork. You know what I mean? They just seem to carry a lot of nasty germs and parasites and things like that. And if you remember in like Contagion, that's how that kind of crazy sickness that was going around developed from, like, you know, this got contaminated like this, and there was a pig, and then this guy didn't wash his hands, and next thing you know, you got something like this swine flu going around. You know what I mean? But I also know someone, you know, as I said, there's other kinds of parasites out there. You see the picture of these things too. Like, these worms get, you'll see them on the screen, they actually get pretty big, you know what I mean? Like actual size of like worms living in your body, you know what I mean? And I knew someone in Yonkers who got food from a food cart, and the guy at the food cart was not that cleanly, wasn't really washing his hands, and this guy ended up eating a hot dog, and I'm not going to say exactly what it was contaminated with, but I'm sure you guys could take a guess. And he ended up with this parasite in his stomach, and he got treated for it because he was getting really sick, and he actually like passed it and could see it, and he said it looked like an eel or like a slug or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff's nasty. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff, being clean and food safety is so important, because the crazy thing, you would think this wouldn't really happen like that, is because they say if the meat is cooked above 145, if there is larvae in them, they will die. If the parasites were in them, they will die. You know what I mean? And also, if the meat is frozen, if it was contaminated, but frozen for at least 24 hours, they would die. So I'm guessing, you know, this was at like a meat market, like where you see where they had the animals just kind of hanging up, and they cut them off, cut it right off, you know, the meat right off the animal, you know what I mean? And then he took it home and he undercooked it. So it's, you know, it's very, you got to be safe. Now, as I was saying, there's a lot of other parasites out there. Something I just want to add to everyone, you know, to be safe, is there's another kind of parasites that I actually spoke about in another video before, a long time ago, that This kind of parasite doesn't kill you, but it also gets in your brain, and it causes people's judgment to be off. And this happens a lot from like dirty produce. So always rinse your produce, you know what I mean, and just be clean. And watch where you go. If somewhere doesn't seem that clean like that, stay away from them. Now the actual like name for this main thing that I was talking about, not these other parasites that I was just speaking on, but the main one, like what this gentleman just had, where they were all in his brain and everything like that, is called neurocystic cirrhosis. But remember, it's pretty much extinct in the United States, but everyone be clean, wash your hands, and be careful. Get in the comments, let me know what you guys thought about this. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. As I said, I drop daily content. I cover all different topics: music, news, sports, things just like this, something that you might not expect. I cover it all on this channel. So make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's J Coffee Talk. I'll catch you guys on the next video. I'm out of here. Peace.